The Gospel of Mark is a fascinating account of Jesus. In the Gospel, Jesus is the one who manifests the very presence of Yahweh, the God of Israel, through his powerful deeds and words. He commands unclean spirits. He forgives sins. He heals the sick. He calms the storm. He walks on the water. And he multiplies food for his people in the wilderness. But in light of this overwhelming picture of Jesus' power, what is the most intriguing in the narrative is the depiction of the disciples. The disciples are the people who are called by Jesus to follow him. Those who are given authority to act as partners with him in his mission of bringing the kingdom of God into reality. And they are the ones who witness Jesus' mighty deeds in a way that no one else in the narrative does. And despite this amazing vocation, they still fail to understand who Jesus is, and most importantly, what it means to follow him. The phrase that Mark uses to diagnose this obliviousness is hardness of hearts, a refusal to accept the premise of what is being revealed. Time and time again, Jesus reveals himself to them and they don't understand. Time and time again, Jesus tells them what it's like to be a disciple, his requirements for those who follow him. And they continue to exhibit traits of ambition and self-centeredness. The central section in Mark is focused on these expressions of failure. And interestingly, they all happen on the way. Three times on the way, Jesus teaches his disciples about his suffering. And three times on the way, the disciples fail to understand what that teaching means for their identity as disciples. Now, the theme of the way is very prominent in the biblical narrative. Yahweh leads Israel, his people, on the way from Egypt to the Promised Land. And throughout that process, Israel keeps on resisting Yahweh, grumbling and complaining and failing to understand his self-disclosure to them. Same thing in Isaiah. Yahweh says that he's bringing them from exile by journeying with them on the way, and yet they're blind. They cannot perceive what he's doing. They cannot understand his self-disclosure to them. Also, throughout the story of Yahweh's relationship with Israel, the physical way becomes symbolic of the ethical way, the ways of Yahweh, his requirements for a people who are called to express his character. So it seems that this journey on the way, this relationship between God and his people, between Jesus and his disciples, is an important motif and a crucial image for those who see themselves in relationship with God. You see, he teaches us on the way. He reveals himself to us on the move. And yet there seems to be a persistent tendency by those who follow to resist the transformative process he's inviting us to. Unfortunately, this is a pattern that can be observed in one's own individual journey with the Lord. How many times we miss the point of discipleship because we fail to perceive what the Lord is doing and the ways he's teaching us to reflect his character. But the amazing thing, though, is that he keeps on moving. And more importantly, he keeps moving us along with him. In the words of the prophet, he is the one who leads the blind in a way they do not know. Because the way is the way to the cross, is a way of transformation. And he's faithful to bring us there.